What's up, people? Orseofkorse here. Today we're coming at you with another Paragon video. Today we're going to be looking at Rampage. So I'm going to get into my deck build and show you how I like to build them as of now. So starting out, I go with the Centurion. So when I get that prime buff, I get 1,000 health, 100% damage bonus. So I think that's good. I've run them as like a bruiser tank, so I really want them to have that health, that durability. So that's why I go the Centurion. So for consumables, with the health potion and then the 2 strike tokens. That way I can get in there and start clearing the jungle out fairly quickly. If you feel like you need a mana potion, or if you want to try like the healer token and maybe like a strike token, that works too. This gives you 2.8 health regen constantly. With his King of the Jungle, I believe is what it's called. You know, that's not a bad combination. So you can play around with that and see what works for you. But usually I go health potion, 2 strike tokens. Now for equipment, like I say, I built them kind of bruiser tank. So let's go ahead and go over it. Let's start out with the Oasis key. This is what I run for my my harvester key, the Oasis key. So it has 1.4 health regen, 2.5 life steal. And when you're by a well, you gain 0.9 mana regen and 100 health. Now I like this card because if you do want to invade the enemy's jungle, that extra 100 health is great, but also it helps you stay out in the jungle longer because you get to regen health while you're near a well. So, or mana while you're near a well. So I just like this card because it does a lot of different things, and it allows you to be a little more adventurous in the jungle, you know. And if people do come after you, which they shouldn't rampage in the jungle, but if they do, get by your well, and you're going to be at a very big advantage. Now I usually discard this card once I have my harvesters up, but let's say you're playing a team who's really good at taking down the enemy's harvesters, and they're you know, really making that hard on you, trying to get rid of your harvesters. You can keep this card for a while. So early game, I'll equip it with like lesser drain, lesser heal, and heal. And if I want to keep it, like if I know I'm going to keep it to end game, I'll go ahead and put it with drain and 2 drains, or greater drain and 2 drains. That way it's a pretty viable card, because Rampage isn't hitting super hard, but he's hitting hard enough where the life drain along with his own regen does have an effect. So this card is optional if you want to keep it or not, but I always keep it just so I can make sure I get my harvesters up. Now let's get into the deck proper. So the first card in here is a Flashfire Piston, and these are in no particular order. You can upgrade however you feel is necessary. So 6.5 physical damage, 5.5 attack speed, and then you get another 5.5 attack speed once you upgrade it. And I equipped that with a Vicious Kinetic and 2 strikes. So he has a pretty good attack speed and he's hitting fairly hard. Then I went with the Berserker Drive. And I know some people may not use this card often. I like it because it has the cooldown reduction and it gives them a little attack speed, a little strength. So I equipped that with a advanced chrono, so 7.5 cooldown reduction and 2 chronos for another 10%. Now the reason I go with this is because Rampage, he's not a carry. He's not going to just get through and just destroy a team because he hits so hard, right? I mean, you can build him that way and maybe he'll get away with it from time to time, but he's really meant to be a distraction, to be a body block, to you know, stun some people with that boulder and then jump away. You know, he's not meant to get in there and just destroy a whole team, although back in the day he could do that. But I go this route so that his cooldowns come up faster, because that boulder with the stun can destroy a team. You know, that can get a carry out of the fight very early, and then the team fights easy peasy after that. So Rust Breaker, I always put this in a deck with a physical champion because the physical penetration. So this card, 13 physical damage, 16 physical pen, 6.5 physical damage. And then I go with the major strikes, so 19.5 physical damage and a minor pierce. So that gives them 32 physical pierce, and that'll cut through the basic physical penetration that most characters have. So that way your Rampage can be hitting as hard as necessary, or as hard as he can rather. Unless of course there's stack physical armor, but you still want to build a little bit of that pin. Now those are my attack cards. Those are the cards that except Berserker Drive, that's more for cooldown. But I have two cards that are pretty much for attacking. This card that focus on cooldown, and then I get into my defense and my health. Now I go with Tempered Plate, and there's a couple things you can switch it out for, like the gloves. I'll show them to you here in a second, but I go with the Tempered Plate. And then we go Beta Guard, so the 66 physical armor. And then I go 2 healths, so that's 500 health once the card is maxed out. And then I go Tune Barrier. And remember, if, like, let's say they don't have any energy tunes on their team, I should say energy heroes on their team that are a real threat, you may not have to use this. Same thing for physical champions, you may not have to use it. There's no physical champion who's giving you a threat. So, but this one's 22 energy armor, 100 health, 44 energy armor once you max it out. I went with a greater barrier, 2 health, so another 500 health once that card is maxed out. And then this last card here is the Swift Creek Heart, and I equip this with all health. So it starts out with 100 health, 5.5 attack speed, and you get 300 health once you upgrade it. So that's 400 health right there. And then I have another 600 health here. So once this card is upgraded, that'll give you 1,000 health. So with the health cards, I get an extra 2,000 health, I believe is what it come out to. So he gives them, so this deck, and like I said, if you don't need to use one of these, you can always keep the Oasis key with the drains or the greater heals on there if you want to switch it out a little bit. Either way, I think it's good. You can go for just pure health regen or for the lifesteal. Either way, I think they are both viable. So that's the build that I have for him right now, and it works pretty good for me. So let's go ahead and take a look at his moveset. Alright, so here we got Rampage moveset. And he starts off with the basic swipe, you know, just his basic attack, does 40 physical damage. It levels up as you level, so no big deal there. And then we have his pounce. Now this is a good move because it's not just an engage, it's also an escape. So it says Rampage leaps, dealing 60 physical damage to all nearby enemies when he lands. Swipe causes Rampage to slam down earlier. So this move, like I say, you don't have to use it to engage. This is usually what I use to either catch people, like when they're really low health, like to end them, you know, to get the kill, or to get away when I know I can't win a fight, or when I've like killed the carry and now I need to get out. That's when I'll usually use pounce. If you enrage, if you use your ultimate, I believe you still jump further when you do it. Pounce ranging, yes. So if you really need to get away, enrage and then hit your pounce, because you will leap way out into the jungle. Now boulder throw, this is why I get the cooldown reduction, because I want this move to be up a little bit quicker than it is right now, because it has an 18-second cooldown. So he throws a boulder, it deals a minimum amount of damage, but the important thing is that it stuns a hero for 2 seconds, and I think that's one of the longest stuns in the game, because I think Decker's, depending on how far away she is, but that's a pretty good stun for this game. So enemy minions hit by boulders will be knocked back. So save it for an enemy champion for sure. King of the Jungle. So while you're in the jungle, you gain plus 2.24 health regen, plus an additional 4.2 while in the jungle. So now that's awesome. So while in the jungle, you get an extra 4.2. Now that's why I say if you do want to build a little health regen, that may not be a bad thing, but you know, like you have to play around with it and see if it fits your playstyle though. But I really like this. That's why I like to keep that Oasis key, because in the jungle with that key, you're really hard to kill, especially if you're by a well. You know, you give people a hard time. And you're enraged, so you become enraged, gaining 50 health regen for the next 12 seconds, and that levels as you level, so it gets better as you level up. And boulder throw is instant, so that's a big thing too. It used to be when he enraged, he couldn't really do anything but swipe at you, but now when he throws a boulder, it's instantaneous. So that's what I have for Rampage, guys. Thanks for watching this video. If it helps you at all, make sure to drop a like, share it out to your friends, and subscribe for more Paragon content, among with other things. So yeah, people, this is Orseofkorse. I'm out for the day. We'll see you in the next video.